It is a heartbreaking scenario that plays out in homes around the world every single day. An elderly person experiences a medical emergency. An ambulance arrives, and they are rushed to the hospital. But left behind in the quiet, suddenly empty house is their dog. We know the dog looks sad, but what is actually happening inside their mind and body? Do they know their owner is gone? Do they understand time? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we are exploring the heartbreaking but deeply fascinating science of what a dog feels when their primary caregiver is suddenly hospitalized. We will uncover the biological scent clock dogs use to track time, the incredible neuroscience behind how human and canine brains literally sync up, and the severe physiological stress response that occurs when that bond is broken. If you love dogs, this scientific deep dive will change the way you understand man's best friend. To understand what a dog feels when their owner suddenly disappears, we first have to understand how dogs perceive time. Dogs do not watch the clock or understand the concept of hours or days. Instead, they rely heavily on two scientific phenomena: circadian rhythms and scent decay. First, dogs depend entirely on predictable routines and environmental cues to make sense of their world. Their internal circadian rhythms help regulate sleep, hunger, and activity patterns, allowing them to anticipate daily events. When an elderly owner is hospitalized, this routine is violently disrupted. The morning feeding doesn't happen. The afternoon walk is missed. This sudden loss of predictability is a massive trigger for canine anxiety. But even more fascinating is the canine scent clock. Dogs process the world primarily through their olfactory system. When an owner leaves the house, their unique human scent gradually dissipates and fades from the air. Science suggests that dogs use this fading scent as a biological time indicator. The fresher the scent, the more recent the departure. Under normal circumstances, the owner returns before the scent decays past a certain threshold. But when an owner is hospitalized, that scent continues to fade away completely. This prolonged scent decay, combined with the loss of routine, signals to the dog that an abnormally long absence is occurring, triggering anticipatory behavior, pacing, and severe emotional distress. The grief a dog feels is not just an emotional metaphor. It is deeply rooted in neurobiology. The bond between a human and a dog shares key characteristics with human parent-child relationships, including high companionship, nurturance, and an asymmetric power balance, where the human is the caregiver. In a groundbreaking study conducted by the Chinese Academy of Sciences, researchers placed electrodes on the skulls of humans and beagles. They discovered the first documented evidence of interspecies brain synchronization. When dogs and humans engaged in mutual gazing and petting, there was a massive increase in synchronized brain activity, specifically in the frontal and parietal regions, the areas of the brain responsible for joint attention and emotional engagement. The study also found that the human brain takes the lead in initiating and reinforcing this coupled neural activity. Furthermore, ethological studies using the strange situation test have proven that dogs view their owners as a secure base. A dog feels confident to explore and relax only when their primary attachment figure is present. When an elderly owner is hospitalized, the dog doesn't just miss a friend. Their primary neurological secure base is instantly removed. The interbrain synchronization they rely on for emotional stability is severed, leaving the dog feeling vulnerable and adrift. When this secure base is removed, the dog's body goes into a state of physiological panic. This is medically known as separation anxiety, and it is a severe distress response. When separated from their handler, dogs experience acute changes in their autonomic nervous system. Without the physical touch of their owner, which is clinically proven to reduce cardiovascular responses and lower stress hormones like cortisol, the dog's body is flooded with stress hormones. Scientifically, we can measure this panic. Studies on canine stress responses show that distressed dogs frequently develop tachycardia, which is an abnormally rapid heart rate, and tachypnea, an abnormally fast respiratory rate. The dog may begin to tremble, pant excessively, and excessively salivate, because they lack the cognitive ability to understand why the owner left. This acute stress manifests in destructive or repetitive behaviors. You might see the dog pacing restlessly, whining, howling to re-establish contact, or refusing to eat, a condition known as anorexia. In severe cases, the stress can even cause them to inappropriately urinate or defecate in the house, or attempt to dig and scratch at doors to escape and find their owner. There is another crucial scientific layer to this tragedy. Often, elderly owners share their homes with senior dogs. As dogs age, their brains undergo physical changes that make sudden separations even more devastating. Just like humans, aging dogs can develop brain lesions and an accumulation of beta-amyloid proteins that block normal neural function. This leads to canine cognitive dysfunction, which is essentially the canine equivalent of Alzheimer's disease. Veterinarians use the acronym DISHAA to describe the signs of cognitive decline: disorientation, altered social interactions, sleep-wake cycle changes, house soiling, activity changes, and anxiety. A senior dog with cognitive decline relies heavily on their elderly owner to navigate the world. When that owner is hospitalized, the dog's fragile routine shatters. Their aging brain, already struggling with disorientation and beta-amyloid buildup, cannot process the sudden change. This can trigger intense phobias, night pacing, excessive whimpering, and an inability to settle or relax. For a senior dog, the hospitalization of their owner is a catastrophic loss of their cognitive anchor. If you ever find yourself stepping in to care for a dog whose owner has been hospitalized, science tells us exactly how to help mitigate their physiological stress. First, do not wash the owner's laundry just yet, because dogs use scent to measure time and feel secure. Providing the dog with an unwashed piece of the owner's clothing leaves a comforting scent profile that helps soothe their nervous system. Second, maintain the elderly owner's routine as strictly as possible. Because dogs rely on predictable daily schedules to feel safe, keeping feeding and walking times exactly the same provides essential emotional stability. Finally, consider the power of pheromones. Synthetic dog-appeasing pheromones, which mimic the comforting chemical messages released by mother dogs, can bypass the dog's conscious anxiety and directly trigger a neurological sense of security in their brain. For severe cases of separation distress, veterinarians can even prescribe anti-anxiety medications, like SSRIs, which alter the brain's neurochemistry to actively reduce panic. The bond between a human and a dog is one of nature's most beautiful neurological miracles. When an elderly owner is hospitalized, their dog doesn't just feel sad. Their biological clocks are disrupted. Their brains lose their synchronized partner, and their bodies undergo a cascade of autonomic stress. By understanding the exact science behind what a dog is feeling, we can step in with true empathy and provide the structural, sensory, and emotional support these loyal companions desperately need while they wait for their best friend to come home. If you found this scientific breakdown insightful, please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more deep dives into animal psychology and biology. Have you ever had to care for a pet while a loved one was in the hospital? Share your experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and give your dog an extra tight hug today.